we're going to do a fish room tour. It's been about a year since I've done a tour. I did one, but it really is not a tour because my tanks were set up. It was more of a laboratory or a test room. I was just testing my products, building formulas, you know, really more science-based and enjoyment of breeding fish. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the free food, or the ingredients to make the pound of free food. One thing I'm noticing is, in order to make that coupon work, which is DIY food, you have to put the product in the cart and then put the coupon in, and it will deduct that from your total. Now remember, you need to spend $40 on the website, and I appreciate everyone that's bought it. So far I think I've sold 7 or 8 batches of it, and where is it? I just want to kind of explain, this is the same as the freeze-dried, it's just in a frozen form, and you know, for what the ingredients you're going to get, the bag, everything, you're going to pay about $7 for a pound of food, because I want you guys to try this food. So one thing about the Guppies is they're going to be extinct soon in the wild. It's a lake in Brazil, and what has happened is the locals have eaten all the arapaima. Now the piranha have taken over the lake, and they're basically destroying this fish. So that's why I kind of want to keep this fish going. Now I have mine that I bred from a wild and an F1 Royal Guppies. And then I also have gotten some wild Guppies. So this guy's wild, and where is the other one? And this guy. So these two are wild right here. So those have come in different strains. And then I have 2 Royals. This guy here, and back in the back. Now the one in the back isn't in perfect shape, but it's still a nice Discus. Definitely breedable. Breeders, we can really pick what we want to breed. So that's the difference as far as what you're going to buy online. Now what I'm going to say about Myrtle Beach is these are actually Myrtle Beach Discus. So this Guppies right here and back there. So those are really nice Discus, right? And those are wilds. They're going to go real good with this breeding project. Now I just moved these guys in from a 55. I want to talk about noticing issues in a tank. So these guys are in a 55, they were getting water changes every day. But one thing I noticed was I was getting fine bubbles across the top. So when you see something like that, so it's a visual cue that something's not right in the tank when you see micro bubbles along the top, almost a foam. When you start seeing that, it usually means the tank is starting to crash, or there's an ammonia buildup, or both issue. Visually I saw that, but also if you look at some of these fish up close, you can kind of see their fins are a little ratty. Not terrible, so I caught it in time, and that comes with experience. So that's what this channel is about, to teach you guys on signs. So visually I saw something, and then second, I listened. Is all the bubbles working? Is everything kind of flowing in the tank? Look good. I see these ripples. So that's why I drop my water below this line always, because I want to see that movement. And then third, what I did is, as soon as I saw that, I went to the tank, lifted it, and smelled it. Now, a healthy tank should smell like an earthy smell. Kind of like after it rains. That's kind of the smell you want in a tank. It's a very natural smell, right? It's great. That's the smell we want. But when I opened the lid, I got kind of a sour. It's kind of like sour milk. So I knew that there was an issue in the tank. So I moved him out of that tank and then reset this tank. Just kind of went in, took a filter, squeezed it in there, reset this tank. Now, like I said, I never empty my tanks. This tank was dormant, and this is where my wild Ultims were. Someone came in and bought all my Ultims, but it was a dormant tank. So the tank water was down to here. There was a little bit of bubbling going on, and I basically filled it up with tap water, put a new filter in, squeezed in some bacteria, and these guys are good to go. So I want to kind of give that lesson here. You're visually looking, you're listening, and then the odor. Once I opened that sour, now it wasn't crashed, but it was crashing. So something went on, whether it was something got in the tank as far as a foreign, you know, chemical or something. I'm not sure what happened. Now, because they were getting water changes every day, so the routine was there, but something happened. It could have been a power outage that I didn't know about, but then all the tanks should have had an issue, but also the density might have had something to do with it, right? So let's feed these guys. So this is the Daily Delight. Now I took off the chlorella green on the website, the frozen. The freeze-dried is still there because what I was finding was it performs better, the chlorella green performs better in the freeze-dried. Now I feed the frozen chlorella green because I don't mind it and I use it for certain things, and I'll kind of go over that in this video. So these guys, they get the Daily Delight, and they also get the bell. So the bell is great. Like if I have a full day of work, then I feed that bell because I want them chewing on that bell for a few hours. So, but one thing about these foods that I've made, and this is the reason why I made them, I know that they can get most of their protein from this food alone, but I don't want to feed just one food. Okay, so it's important that you kind of give them a variety. But really the only other food I feed besides my foods on my website are Sarah. And I don't feed them very much. I'm getting to the point where I think I fed these guys 3 times Sarah foods. So they're getting these foods plus all my other foods, the optimal growth and the protein plus. So, and between all that, I believe I'm getting 99% of what they would get in the wild. Now, all my tanks get the fulvic acid, so they all get that one mil per 5 gallons. That's just standard for me now, because what I've found in the year that I've been using that, disease is pretty much gone. And I'm really looking into trying to do some research on that and salt and see if I can, I don't know if I'm going to cure diseases, but if I can ban diseases out with those 2 products. So those are 2 very natural products. So one thing with the Daily Delight is when you buy it in the frozen, a pound of food is going to go a long way. It's going to get you, I mean, if you have one tank like this, I would imagine you're going to get 6 to 9 months of feeding depending on how many fish you have in it. And the thing with this food is I designed it, yes, it's designed for discus, but I also basically kept the fat and protein in check, because every tank in my room, my angelfish, my rainbow fish, my plecos, my L numbers, all my praecock, the Synodontis, Petricola, my Guppies, they all eat this food. Now, I don't feed this to them every day, but I feed it to them 2 or 3 times a week. So it's a food that can be fed to anything, and I've designed it that way at 40% protein, 43%. And it's not the protein, it's the ingredients. If you read the ingredients, it's insane. Kupwa, excellent fish. They're going to, now I'm going to sell off some of these, so if you guys are interested in any of these, let me know, and they're ready to go. I'll keep probably my 4 myrtles, and then I'll probably keep 4 of my Kupwa wild F1 cross. Alright, let's get to the next tank. Alright, so here we have, for those who have pre-ordered on the website, the Blue-Faced Namunda Heckle Wild crossed with the red turquoise Heckle Domestic. These guys are they're ahead of schedule. So they're getting 200% a day, 100% water change in the morning, and 100% water change at night. Temperature is 86 to 87 degrees, so really warm. They're in a compact tank, getting the perfect growth. They can all find food when they need it. Baby brine shrimp every morning, every night, good amount. And now I have them actually eating off the bell. But right now we're going to give them the Daily Delight because it's a great food to grow fish on. I appreciate everyone that's pre-ordered them. I do have one more set. So I've had 8 calls out of about 80 fish, so it's about 10%. And that probably comes from the domestic red turquoise. Now that's still way low for a domestic fish. But basically what is left is about, I'm going to say 70 fish. So there's another set available. It's $300 pre-order, and that includes shipping and everything's guaranteed. But one thing I do with these guys is I feed these guys a little different because of their small mouths. You can throw a chunk of food in there and they'll chew on it, right? But one thing I've noticed is if you take a spoon and we give them a good shred, it's better when it's frozen. It's not that frozen, but this will work. So then we just kind of drop this in, and they chew on this. And I can do a heavy feeding because I'm doing so much of a water change every day. Now 200% is minimum. Sometimes I do 220, 230, 250%. It just kind of depends on how the tank looks. And by the end of the day, in the morning, you know, we do our water change. By the end of the day, this tank is pretty dirty because I'm feeding in the grow. So it's about the food going in and the water coming out. I do not want these guys not to have access to food at any time. So for 12 hours to 14 hours, sometimes 16 hours a day, they're feeding. And then at night, they digest that food. In the morning, we do it again. I have not missed a day. Every day, they've gotten their water changed. Every day, they've gotten their baby brine. And every day, they're eating all day long. So that's the reason why we keep these fish together. Because we want this grouping. We want them to grow correctly. So everything is growing great. I have seen 2 or 3 fish that are questionable as far as their finnage, but when that happens, I do not pull them yet. I wait. There was 2 belly sliders. There was 3 gill cover problems, so flared gills. Now, that's not necessarily genetic. It probably is, but it's probably more transferring when they're young and they got their gills caught somehow. And then 2 were just kind of dark and sitting in the corner and not flowing with the group. Now I didn't take them out right away, I waited, but after 2 or 3 days you start seeing that and they're sitting in a corner and they're not eating. There's something wrong. It's usually some kind of digestion problem or an organ problem. So it's better to call them now than to grow them and watch them suffer. It's hard. So 8 fish. That's pretty high for my wilds, but very low for domestic. So you got to remember, this is a cross, so we're going to get the best of the both worlds. We're going to get the wild genes with the domestic color. So these are going to be pretty amazing fish. But you know, you can take them and also feed them like this. And a chunk, they'll chew on that all day. You know, the thing is when it's frozen, it shreds really nice. Okay, let's talk about these guys up here. So these are 7th generation, and I'm trying to create my own angelfish. Now, one thing that I choose angelfish for are finnage. Colors come second with angelfish because you can really get an angelfish any color you want. But once they start getting that droopy fin, no more. I don't want an angelfish like that. So these guys, what I've done is these are siblings. So I basically got an albino. And then this is the red Monocapora cross with an albino. So basically what I'm trying to do is get this more of, and they're on eggs, so they're young. But they eat the Daily Delight, perfect for angelfish. So with this Daily Delight, what I do is I break it up into small little pieces. You can put chunks in and they'll chew on that all day, but what I found is when you do small pieces, it tends to sink quicker. When you do bigger pieces, it tends to float but sinks, but it takes them longer to eat it. So this is my project. These are going to be sheller one day, and I'll kind of show you the original parents. Pretty amazing. But I've gotten rid of all their stripage because one thing I've noticed with the angelfish is I love the stripes, but in angelfish, stripes don't sell well. All right, so down here is the new fish I just got, the one that came in with the bloat, right? So they're not going to be real active, they're not going to be real personable because they've been here just a couple days. So they're going to be kind of stressed, but you can see that bloat thing. It cleared up within an hour and a half. It was clear and they were doing fine. So that was the last video I just made on how this fish came in bloat from being in an airline from the air pressure. But these guys, they basically have been eating just blackworm cubes. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys get new fish, the blackworm cubes are great because most 99.9% of fish are going to take to them right away. They've been eating the last 2 days. Now, yesterday I introduced the bell and left the room. When I came back, the bell was empty. they figured out the bell the first time. And you know, I know some people say that their fish don't eat the bell right away. It's like any food, it takes time. So this will be the first time I introduce the Daily Delight frozen. So let's see what happens. I don't expect them to eat it, but I just want to have it in the tank so they can be introduced to it. And then, you know, when they get their water change tonight, just very small water changes, like 10%, or sometimes less, I will pull this out if they haven't eaten it. But I want them to know what this food is and be able to chew on it. That's important to me. Expect them to eat it on camera, and they won't, and that no one should expect that the first time that you introduce a food. You should expect to have to remove this food. But even if they start to get the taste or the smell, that's the point. Alright, so this is a guppy strain I've been working on. It's called a Blue Delta. I'm trying to get the tail down to this, so I'll be pulling this guy out and getting him crossed out because I don't like the big tail. But one thing I've done so far is I've gotten rid of, it had an endler body, so it had that orange spotting in it. So I've gotten rid of that and got it more. This guy has it right here, so he'll be pulled because he's growing. So these two have it right here. So they'll be pulled, and then I'll probably put like the smaller one that has a good tail. Where is he? I'll put him in his own tank with a couple females, and then I'll pick the females with the best body. Here's another. So these are the originals, and I've come up with these. This guy right here, he'll come out, and these guys eat Daily Delight too. So I don't worry about, you know, people are also freaked out about protein levels and stuff, but as long as it's in that 40, under 50%, I mean, it's great for all fish. Now, you'll see the duckweed on top. This tank basically gets the mulm on the bottom and the duckweed on top. I change the water probably once a month in this tank. So I don't spend a lot of time on this tank, except feeding it. But also my F1 stir-bys are in here. There's about 20 of them. So they stay in here too. So that's why I want to make sure this food gets down for them. And then a betta that's been in here forever. Kind of lives his life in there. That's what's nice about this food is it's totally universal. It can be fed to anything. You know, probably the only thing I wouldn't feed this to would be like a Tropheus debosia. I probably wouldn't feed it to any Tropheus. In moderation. The Cloella green though, all day long. That's what I designed the Cloella green for, is Tropheus. I used to breed Tropheus. That's what I started, was African cichlids. My mind was instantly thinking, and I feed all my plecos, the Cloella green, and guppies, and rainbow fish. So it's universal for all fish. The Cloella green can be fed to anything, but this can too, in moderation. You know, the Discus can eat this stuff every day. Anything high protein, but it's not the protein levels in it. It's the quality of the ingredients. So they'll chew on that for a good hour. So these guys, actually both pairs, I have an Ika Wild, or an Ika F1 and a turquoise. Oh, here they come. So they just laid eggs, they're coming to the front, so they're hungry. So I got two sets. And these are the parents of the fry you'll be buying that you pre-order. Still have that wild look, but they actually have a little bit of color in them. So they're going to be a good, solid, sturdy fish. Alright, let's feed these guys since they came to the front. They're talking to me. They're like, hey, come on Dad, feed us. So Daily Delight. These guys have only been grown on my foods. They have never seen anything. I've purposely not fed them any Sarah or anything because I just wanted to see if my foods would get them healthy and grow them correctly. And you can see the size and shape. It's perfect. The other guys are breeding right now, so I'm not going to disturb them. And I really didn't want to disturb these guys. But when they see me come up to the tank, they're going to, you know, these guys have been with me since they were fry, so they're going to want them. They're like, come on, let's eat. So guys, really, you can get this food. I mean, a pound of food for $7. I don't know how you can beat that at this quality. It's only good through Wednesday. So Wednesday, I'm pulling the plug because I like people to try my stuff, and I don't mind not making money if they want to try it and give it a shot. But you know, I wouldn't be in business very long if I kept doing this for too long. On the 7th, this goes away. So make sure, if you want quality food or if you just want to try it. Yeah, she's going back to the eggs. So the males tend to be more of the aggressive protector, and the females are definitely the nurturers. That's always the way it is in life, and really in the discus world it's no different. Yeah, they're beautiful fish. If you've bought these fish, the fry from these fish, you're in for a treat, because this has been a lifelong dream for me to create my own strains like this. And they're even going to get more colorful. And then what I'll do is I'll take the next generation and cross back some more color into them. And then probably cross back into some more wilds. Because I want the sturdiness of the wild, but I want a little bit of the color of the domestics. So it's important to me to have sturdy fish. I don't want fish that can get sick or are prone to sickness.